In doing this, I began out cooking so many different dishes because I had to have a new dish every other day to write about. So when it became a thing, then someone, my editor then, Penlope, New Vision, called me like, oh, by the way, would you consider doing something like this for New Vision? I'm like, first wait. I am not a chef. I can't. Like, no, it's okay. You don't have to be a chef. Just write about your experiences because most of our readers are ordinary people like yourself who love to cook, who once in a while cook. So it's something they can relate to. And I think they would enjoy something like, oh, okay. Maybe I can try this. So now I was excited and happy because my shopping budget is going to be supplemented.
So when you're experimenting with new recipes,
yes,
it really eats into your budget.
Yes, it does. So now I was like, okay, so I don't have to, okay, this is good. And then I'm just now, instead of just the Facebook community, I'm writing to a wider community. So I'm writing for the whole Kampala, no, the whole Uganda. So I think it was about 2016 June.
Okay.
So it became a thing. And then before I knew it, I had to write 54 new, cook 54 new dishes every year.
That's a lot.
Yes,
okay.
That is for my articles. Then there'll be some in between there that didn't work out, so I couldn't share. so it just kept going like that. And I enjoyed doing it. And I didn't know then that this passion could become a source of income for me. So around 2017, 26, when I wrote that I do loyally work, no, I cook, I eat, because I love to eat. I really love good food. I spend, I think, half my income on eating out.
I think most people who like to cook, it's because that motivation is there.
Yes, comes from somewhere.
Food. You like nice food.
Yes, and like so you want, even when you can't afford to get it, you want to try to do it, or even just the experience of trying to do it. So that's where that my tagline came from. I eat, I cook. I also do a little work so I can afford to eat, to cook, and blog about it.
Okay.
So
your blog was still running at this point?
No. Now, by then, my blog was, I think, Balamaga at WordPress.com, which was purely for humor. Now I began cooking and I stopped blogging. So the food blog comes in much later. At the time when I said, okay, maybe I need to do this more seriously. Because at around 2016, I began the New Vision column, food column. 2017, I start to see, I start to see potential for growth. Because around that time, then I begin to get sponsors. I begin getting approached by agencies. Or would you use our products to prepare your, like, okay, that's not bad.
Exactly.
So in less than a year,
there.
In less than a year, that food blogging was, I think, paying me as much as my job. So I was like, okay, I spend like 20% of my time to create this content. And it pays me as much as a job where I spend 80% of my time. One of these days, I'll quit this job.
And that's when the seed was planted.
Yes. So I continued doing that, and I was coward. So 2017, around 2017, I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to do this now more professional. I want to do this full time.
Okay.
But I didn't.
Is that when you decided that you were going to actually cater?
No.
That still came much later?
That came much later. So 2017, I quit. 2016, I attempted to quit. Kayasi first hammered me. I was broke. I was like, you know what? I need to go back. I went back to my boss. I pleaded. She took me back. I worked for another year. But I had learned something during that time I was away because I managed to dedicate some time to seeing this passion grow.
So like, let me grow it, but let me first also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I won't lie, when I made the decision, I had the comfort of, in the worst case scenario, my wife will take care of us. She earns enough to pay rent. So I won't have to worry about the rent.
Okay.
So I was optimistic that this will work out. But in the worst case scenario, we won't starve. Because by then, remember, I was married, I had a child, so the responsibilities were definitely there. But I also knew that the basic needs can still be met during this time of trying to get on.
Yes.
Nothing. So 27, like, okay, now I think
Now I'm ready.
now I'm ready. So I move. But I moved not to do barbecue, not to do keto, but to do social media influencing, content creation, food content creation to be precise. So I already had clients. I think I was influencing for them. I was doing Jessa, I was doing Yoga Chic, I was doing Shell Gas. Did I do Shell with you? Okay. I think those were
We
the
did
retained.
Royco together.
Oh yeah. So
And some. Anyway.
so I was like, okay, at least I have these on contract for a year plus. The money was like out of this world, but really it can feed
Can
us.
take care of you if you have
Yeah.
enough.
Yes. So now I can use this as a foundation to build and get more.
Okay.
Now that I'm giving it 80% of my time, it should be able to do better than it did when I was giving it 20% of my time. So I begin from there. I do for a few months. Then along the way, someone orders for, like I did a pork barbecue recipe that people really loved so much. So they kept trying it. Then someone like, but you, I mean, I don't have this time. Can you just cook for me this pork? I'm like, no. Like,
You hadn't
but
thought about
why?
it at that point.
No, I hadn't, and I was like, no.
I've
Like
given
in
you
my
everything
mind,
you need.
yes, like I give you a recipe for a reason, so you can cook it for yourself. The way I rationalized it was like, I am a lawyer. I can't. I'm not a pork vendor. I can't be there grilling pork for other people. Like I'm above this.
Wow.
So that was the thinking I had. Then more and more people kept coming, and I kept saying no. Then someone who I couldn't say no to came to me. She's a baker, and the first mate I had, she's called Patience. So Patience comes and asks me for this pork. I'm like, Patience, I'm not going to cook for you this pork. You're going to do it yourself. Like, but why don't you do this and make extra money? Like, no. Me, I'm a lawyer. I'm not a pork roaster. Like, what does it take away from you? Like, what exactly does it take away from you? Then I thought about it because for her she has a really flourishing baking business, but she's a doctor and she's also flourishing in her career.
I love it when people come into your life and they're there for that reason. Because clearly she was there for that reason.
I can't tell you what she did for me.
To make you see yourself
like
differently.
At the beginning, she almost like held my hand like a baby and took me through everything. I hope you're doing this. I hope you're doing this. Make sure your books are in order. Don't eat that money. Not all that money is yours. Do you bank the money? Like took me through the steps and what. So when she asked me, I was like, me, I can't. So like, okay, can you? And I'm like, okay, maybe we can do this. I do this for you, and then in return, you bake for me my daughter's first birthday cake.
Okay.
Then she's like, okay, we can work with that.
Struck.
That's the deal I struck. So then watch what happens. So, like now that I'm doing for her, then I called the people who had asked me previously. And I'm like, okay, I can do your orders this Saturday. So I'm doing for someone else. That weekend, I did 15 kilograms of pork. At that time, my profit margin was about, or even like 18K. Like the profit margin was really big then because I had no operational costs. So I was doing everything with with my cousin. So I had no staff to pay, I had no rent, I had no what. So I did the mathematics from the 15 kilos. I was like, wait a minute. I can make this much money, almost 200,000 in one day.
Imagine coming home to a vacation each day, to a place of pure serenity, a place of pure luxury for you to entertain and unwind, At Jacana Heights, dreams come true. Take your pick from spacious 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartments and luxurious 4-bedroom penthouses, built to international standards with fine, exceptional finishing. Located on Konge Hill, Buziga, with incredible views and a fresh breeze from the nearby Lake Victoria. It's a place for your body, soul, and mind with a wide array of amenities. Contact us for more information. Jacana Heights, luxury hilltop living.
So the barbecue business started from there. So it
Right.
became every Saturday thing. So along with the influencing and
I remember
the
seeing
column,
the pictures when you're like, oh my God, I want that.
quiz. So I was like, okay, so this is it. This is it. This is it. I'm doing this. And I was excited. But I don't know if I'm sure you know that joy of seeing something that you've started and you're seeing it grow and you're going through the process. Like it was really, really tiresome then.
Because it's
But
also
I
a lot of work.
enjoyed the process. Like I was happy about counting my monies at the end of
And getting
Saturday,
the feedback, they
and then
enjoyed the
feedback.
food.
Yes, like oh my God, this is the best pork. Of course, everyone will tell you that if you're your friend, the best pork I've ever eaten. But then you actually need that motivation because it fuels you to keep going. Of I think I'm doing the right thing. I think I'm on the right track. I think this is good.
That's why they
So
say
it
your
keeps you
friends, your
going.
circles are your first customers,
Yes,
really.
they are. Those circles of people you don't know, like they really build you and push you and give you the because at that moment you really need that confidence if you're going to keep doing this.
Yes.
So I say okay, and I was happy. That was 2018, I think, around April. I was happy. The business kept growing. December, because then I was doing events. I was like, where have I been? Not that it was a lot of money, but it was a lot more money than I was being paid in the law firm. So, like, I've been sitting on this talent all this while, but I still had the thing at the back of my mind that I hope this lasts. I hope it's not just, fads that come and then it's just a moment thing, then it passes. Like how that tendency that we have, like there's a new bar that's opened, then everyone floods to that bar. Then a few months down the road, there's another bar that opened and everyone fled. Aha. Yes. So I had that fear at the back of my mind all the time. So December comes, my sales had grown, like really, really grown. I wasted that money because in my mind, I had no idea about seasons, what. I just felt like the business has just grown.
Oh, and
this much.
December events and
Yeah. Then came Jan 2019.
when people have no money.
Me, I didn't know those things. I was a salary earner. So my salary does not change in Jan or December. The business dropped by about 90% from December. And I'm like, this is it. Oh my God, this is it. The business has collapsed. Business has collapsed. Oh my God, I can't go. No, I can't go back to a law firm. I can't. I am not remotely qualified for a job that would give me the amount of money that I've seen here.
Yes.
I need a plan B. Meanwhile, at that time, my wife had also quit her job because she was a doctor in Lifelink. So one day she tells me, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't wake up every day for 30 days, for 20 days to go and work for money that you make in one weekend. No. I'm not
So
working.
you had rubbed it off on her.
So at the time, we were just, the two of us were just there, working on like a business. Her specialty was coordinating borders, me on making sure I bring in orders, and then she makes sure the food goes out.
Okay.
What? So now like looking at each other like dogs of what do we do?
Thank you for the honesty, I have to say. But yeah, there's seasons. You have to plan
I
for the
had no
times when
idea.
it drops.
Me, I had no idea. Like, what do we do? We need another business. We need another business. We need another business. So what do we do? Let's try baking. Like, I tried baking. No, I can't. Baking, everyone is a baker. Just look around. Everyone is baking. The competition is stiff that side. And because this business had good margins, and when I had the margins in baking, because I tried baking, I think I was selling a chocolate cake I tried, but I've done a lot of things
You
by
tried
then. I think
baking, so you did.
I did go baking. I did a chocolate hedged cake. And then I'll take pictures because the thing that has really worked for me is I try my best to take good pictures.
Yes,
Because
the
I
visual
discover,
is so
yes,
important.
because I live on social media, and I know that on social media, if you're selling on social media, you can't sell a scent, you can't sell a taste. All you can sell is the visual. So make sure you put a lot of emphasis on that.
Into that,
Don't
yeah.
cut corners. Don't what. If you have to hire a photographer to come and take very good photos, do that. Don't try to wing it with your phone unless you know what to do. Because you can have the best phone with the best camera. If you don't know what to do, lighting or what, you still take crappy pictures. And that will affect your sales. So I used to take good pictures, and then I'd see, because before the barbecue, it was cake, but didn't last longer than a month. I made a few sales, but the process was also too long because I was still learning. And I look at the end, I didn't like, okay, all this for what? For 40,000? No, it's not worth it. Now we've spent the whole day there, like me and my brother trying to do the hedge, laying the chocolate on a car,
Telling you,
on
the
parchment
decoration,
paper.
that's
Then,
all that time and energy.
that is after baking. Now, because we didn't have experience, and the good thing is I was lucky because I already had a following of people who liked me from the time when I was writing Human
So they're
2012.
willing to support you.
They're willing to support me, but I also have to make sure I give them something that will bring them back, so they're not disappointed.
Yeah.
Just to affirm, to reassure them that your faith is not misplaced. You'll get what you're paying for.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't want to, if I'm doing baking, I want to make the best cake possible in the most healthy way possible, not to try and find things that will, I don't know, how people try to cut corners and they do things that will compromise the client's health, but they won't notice in the next 3 years
So
or
when
so.
did you start paying attention to the health? Because I guess that's also what brings us to your
Okay, well,
keto.
it has always been a thing from the beginning because of the circles I had, even from the work and what. I knew, and this is why the background in legal practice helps, because what distinguished me, as I learned later, from other people who do, because I'm not the best chef out there. I would be lying if I said that. I can't say I'm the best person at marketing. There are people who do that better than I do. I can't say I'm the best writer either. But the combination of all these small things, these dots from where they started and how they, because I can say that my religious background shaped my moral compass. It become it guides me in doing things.
Yeah.
To
Like
do
what you
the
said
right
about don't
thing.
cut corners, and a
Yes,
lot of people
do the right thing, not because the client will find out, but because it's the right thing. And I don't do it because I want to secure a spot in heaven. But it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Do unto others what you want be done unto you. Even when there's no one watching.
Yes.
I don't think I will burn in hell if I don't, if I do something that I know is wrong. But hell is not my motivation for doing it. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. So it's a combination of many, many factors. And then the social circles I had, and how we used to deal with clients. Because when I used to work, my boss used to give us an opportunity to meet clients face to face, like hand over a certain project to you. So you deal with people in top management of big companies, and you know their expectations, their values, and these are the same values I carried with me when I started my small business. So I knew certain things have to be done a certain way.
Have to be done the right way.
Yes, have to be done the right way. So it wasn't even a deliberate decision that I need to be mindful about health. But health was just one of the many things that had to be done right. Like, don't cut corners. And I also learned a very valuable lesson early enough that you price your item right, you'll get the customers that you need. And then trying to go for the lowest price possible so you can get everyone.
As many as possible.
And then you will not be able to do the right thing, because when the money if the money cannot allow you to buy Emborg cheese, but you need to use
olive
cheese
oil.
or extra virgin olive oil, you will just buy Fortune Wuto and they will not know. But
But it affects the taste of
yes,
the food.
yeah.